Welcome to How to Win at Chess Episode 5, a series where I play against my Twitch subscribers on stream, going up the rating ladder, 10-minute games, and I take you through the opening, the middle game, and the end game. In this video, we have 6 games, the 7th one got cut off, the person had to go, and I'm showing you in the first few games how to beat the London system, then how to win with the London system when you're playing whites. There's a game where I'm completely lost and I need to make a comeback, and there's many other things. Hope you enjoy. D4. Let's go D5. Are we going to get a London? We have a London. Now, dearest chat members, even though you are not on the screen for this edition, you should all know that the general antidote, the best antidote, is at some point to play the move C5. So you play knight to F6, and then C5. You can also play E6 and C5. You can also develop the bishop and play E6 and C5. I'm going to play the immediate C5. Now, if this gets taken, it's actually not so difficult to win this pawn back, because you'll play E6 and then take. And the other benefit of moving this is that your queen can always come out like this. So let's say we go. Let's just finish developing the knight. Oh, I have to hide the audio tracks, huh? YouTube, we have music here, but it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Okay, queen to b6 now. Trying to go for b2. I'm not saying that it's always going to work. Now, this is instructive. You might think that you take, oh, I double their pawns. That's good for me. In reality, you want them to take you so that you can open the file. How do you force them to take you? By playing this. This is actually not a fork. Because they can just take the queen and then move the bishop out of danger. So they're not losing any material. But we have forced them to take our queen, opening up our rook, which is advantageous for us. And then the next phase of the game, we can play something like here, for example, developing our bishop, or b5. I'm going to go here, and I actually have a very sneaky threat. I'm not threatening to take this, obviously, but I was threatening to take the knight, remove the rook, and then take. Now I can just expand on the queen side with b5, e6, and then push in with b4. So we use our queenside majority. Another very useful move for these positions, actually kind of funny. This is not, this is not like easy to spot at all, but it's to go here. The point is that they want knight h4 to get our bishop, and if we play the move h6, we can slide the bishop back to safety. But for now, I'm going to go e6. Let's see if my opponent knows about the knight h4 idea. If they're listening to me, then they will play knight h4 because it's the best move. But the good thing is that I've already replaced my light-scored bishop with a lot of light-scored pawns. As you see, this is a big space advantage. Really considering this move, but I also am considering just finishing my development first, getting my king to safety. Thank you, A Duck with Pie, for the 2 gifted subs. Appreciate that you are a duck with pie. So I can take. I can also not take because I'm guarded. You don't have to take everything that you see in chess. So I think I will just castle. And again, it's really difficult to tell the difference between taking and letting them take you. And a lot of you ask about time management, and it's not something you need to spend a million years on here. Again, I can take or leave it and continue with my plan. I'm going to continue with this pawn expansion, because if this trade were to happen, I make progress into the position, and I still have a pawn for the future. Not right away, because I would lose my horse. But am I accepting rated or unrated? I'm not accepting challenges. We queued up 7 people, like we always do. That's the point. And it's Sunday today, so I'm playing subscribers. I play subscribers every episode, but today on stream, this is not the only thing that I'm doing. But in general, it's going to be focused on subscribers. Because that is what we do on Sundays. It's nice. We have a calm moment here. Nice and calm and relaxing moment. Rook f to d1. Does that move create any threats? No. I'm going to take. Why? Because this trade isolates this pawn as a weakness. I can now immediately go for it. I can also go here and here, which also looks good. I really like this though. But I also, hello? I also have this. So see, we've like really isolated this weakness. And that is why this trade is better than this trade, because this trade didn't have any like tangible benefit. Whereas creating this weakness that's really difficult to target, and now bishop goes to a3, and we are immediately swarming. Look how quickly we're targeting that weakness. Now this looks completely safe, but hidden in all this is this bishop, which does see this rook. So any knight move is good for us, except here and here, because the rook would take. So knight takes f2, for example. My opponent says sad. I don't know what they're calling sad, but knight takes f2 here is picking up material because the rook is being taken for free. That's very important that the rook has no guard, because if we're losing a knight but getting the rook for free, it's good. But if we were losing this bishop too, that would not be worth it. Do I think Tom Brady will win the Super Bowl this year? I cannot tell you how little I care about Tom Brady. But I mean, I guess. Knight to d7. Well, that's a very clear attack on my rook. Let's go rook fd8. Thank you, Joshua. Oh my god. He donated again. This is an attack here. This seems like a very natural counter-attacking response. And actually, my opponent has no way out. Asking chess people about the NFL, why, just why? Guys, chess people can like the NFL. I just personally don't watch the NFL. What are you talking about? Plenty of people who love the NFL. Good move, actually, because it saves the... And I can't go here because it's covered. So I guess I'll just slide over a square. And Jozo giving 5 subs. So this... Guess I'll take. I'm up material, so it's good for me. And I mean, I want to go bishop to b2 and pick up this pawn, but I also see bishop here to attack the knight. But then the knight goes here. Let's stay focused on the other side of the board. You know, sometimes you get a little bit of tunnel vision when you see something like this because you're really tempted to win something here, but you don't need to. Because the thing is, when an opponent ties two pieces together like this, it's like tying your shoelaces together, right? Like, the person's already going to have difficulty moving as is. You don't need to go shove them so they fall over. Like, there's a very high chance that they're going to fall anyway. So you just leave these two and you know. Alright, so the knight moves, but where's the knight going? I mean, it's going here, but I'm picking up material. I can also play rook c6. Also, rook e7 is an x-ray, isn't it? It is. And then if knight c5, I take the bishop, and they take the rook, and I take the knight. So I get the two pieces. Whereas the difference earlier, several moves ago when I took here on c2, was the fact that I got the rook for free. Whereas in this case, this is me picking up two pieces. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I completely blundered this move. Yeah, I just completely blundered that. Okay, well that, you know, looks like I can learn from my own video series. I just completely forgot the rook could go there. Well, that's okay. We'll take, and we're up 3 pawns. We're up 3 pawns. Let's do something instructive here which does not involve me losing more material. I'm gonna go trade the rook. And what's gonna happen? Well, I don't know if they're gonna trade with me. Then let's go back for a second. What was better than all this? Well, it was better. Again, I literally just said not to get tunnel vision. And then I got tunnel vision. And I just immediately, that was, like I went back for it. And I didn't have to. Rook to b2. Alright, let's go here. Someone says, did you notice how I switched personas? That's nonsense. Nonsense, personas. Okay. This is an endgame. What's important in endgames? It's obviously material, number 1. and then activity of your pieces. We got 3 extra pawns, but you can't just go pushing. I don't want y'all to think like that. So this endgame, the pieces involved are opposite colored bishops. Now, generally, that can be a draw. But if you put your pawns on the correct color complex, like this, and you don't let your pawns be targets for the enemy bishop, and you don't just run the pawn down the board, because what happens in opposite colored bishop endgames is you could get blockaded. If you put all your pawns on dark squares, you can get blockaded by the light squared bishop, and you won't be able to make any forward progress. Also, you have to avoid isolating some of your pawns as weaknesses. So I'm going to bring my king. That is what you notice. Here. What's the drink? Iced latte. 3 shots of espresso. Okay, this is attacking this. But I'm setting a trap. When the bishop wanders in, you close the cage like a mouse trap. And there you go. That was nice. So I realized my whole, like, crop is a bit weird. This is a bit over there, and this is like... And you go king here. And you take. You can take with either. Take with the king. And now we have a bishop up. So we can bring the bishop all the way back. And now the difference being that the opponent only has a king left. We just move the pawns down the board. Make a branded coffee mug. If I push, this gets taken. I'll push this one. Let's go here. Here. Push. Check from a distance. Push the pawn forward. It's threatening to go here. The king comes up. We go here. Protected. Now, there will be an instructive moment in this endgame. Do not stalemate. If we go here, it is a draw. Our opponent doesn't have any moves. Even if there's pawns, the pawns can't move. Always make sure they have at least one more square. And then we will go king to e2. My opponent is writing me messages. They said, this looks bad, but it's better than last time we played. Listen, that's great. What do you mean it looks bad? I'm double your rating. It's supposed to look bad, but it's not. That's not a bad thing. It's supposed to be instructive. You're not supposed to queue up as a 1200 and beat me. That would be kind of strange. Who would be teaching who in that instance? Don't worry about it. It looks bad or what. What? No, it doesn't. Listen, playing on stream, it's like that's commendable. What are you talking about? Looks bad. Stop this silly stuff. Looks bad. I'll tell you, when I play Blitz, it looks bad against people who are my level the past few weeks, losing all my rating. Anyway, this is how you play against the London. Again, like now, if this is episode 5 of How to Win at Chess, throughout every episode, I've had a London with black, and every time I've been playing like this. So over a course of time, once you pick up the ideas of these positions, how to play against the London, you're going to be beating the London. In this game, that's all we did. I mean, we played c5, queen b6. We traded the queens, and then we advanced on the queen side. I guarantee you, I will guarantee you, if you watch this game now on stream or on the YouTube video and play a game like this in the future, you will win exactly like this. My opponent says I've never seen the queen bishop fork in the early game, so there you go. Right there you go, the pawn push. All right, Penguin on the loose is next, and now I will show you how to. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about chess. You got to know how to win with the opening, and you got to know how to beat the opening as well. All right, bishop f5, symmetrical London. So against symmetrical London, what I like to do is play a quick c4. That's what I like to do. So I'll play something like c4 right away, even, to turn it into a queen's gambit, and then e3, and then like this. And the point is that I'm first to the queen side. You notice I did the exact same thing, but now that I'm doing it with now I'm doing it with white. Last game I did it with black with this queen maneuver. Oh, we might literally get the exact same structure. That's really funny. It's going to be, it might potentially turn into the exact same idea with both sides. Okay, then my opponent plays queen d7. There is a trap. When the queen goes like this, there is a trap here. Okay? And it has to do with this getting here at some moment. Watch how we clear this out. So we're going to begin with this move. Now, like I said, it's a trap. They have to fall into the trap. They have to fall into it. So if they don't fall into it, then there is no trap. But so you see the difference between which way they take, it opens up this. Now, in reality, when the queen gets here, the best thing to do is just to pop the knight into e5. That's what you do. That's what you do. I mean, the queen is awkward on this square. The queen belongs on b6 or on c8, where it's not quite a target, or at least it's going to trade for the queen. Here, it's a target, both for this. Now you say, well, Levy, how are you going to do this? I mean, the knight is going to go here, right? Like the bishop is going to go to b5, but the knight will go to, c6. Sure, but what if you take the knight first? Which looks like a move that basically never happens. And now you want to get the bishop here, but you don't want to do it quietly. You don't want to go e3, bishop b5. You want to play a move with a tempo. Even if this is a bad trade, because it forces black to react. If you just play e3, they go a6. I mean, you can, by the way, you could take that and they can't take back. So, but they can maybe go knight e7, knight c6. It gives them a full turn. But when you go e4, it comes with an attacking tempo. And if they play knight e7, you win a bishop. You don't need to win the queen. You just need to win something, right? So you have to hit him with e4 because they have to respond to it. And then bishop goes to b5. And this is only possible. You cannot see this if you've never seen this before, because it's just like, it's just so weird. The whole board is closed, right? Now you say, well, Levy, this is stupid. What if you just took back this way? Fair, yeah, yes. But that's what I said, it's a trap. And then I said the best thing to do is just to go here, because this is always a target. And don't forget that the knight now has no natural developing move when you play queen to d7. So you kind of stunt your own queenside development, right? When you do like this. But play cd5, you play bishop takes b8, so the knight can go to c6, and then bam to e4, and my opponent realized that this was coming. I can still play this, by the way. Not all checks are created equal, but bishop to b5 is a good move because there's no way to block it. Now the king has to move, and then I take the bishop. So now my opponent cannot castle, and has also lost the bishop, and what makes this even worse is that their center is destabilized. I can play queen takes d5 with a check as well. Okay, I guess we'll trade queens. We don't have to trade queens, but we're up material, so it's good practice. And then I'll finish my development and I'll castle. Now we're up a knight. And it's, we won a knight on move 9 or 10. So you beat the London, and you know how to win with it as well. And that's how chess works. I mean, that is how the best players in the world do it. They gotta beat people with an opening. They gotta beat people when they're on the other side of that opening as well. Let's go knight here to hit this. Again, I'm not too concerned about this because it's protected, but if it wasn't protected, then why is it always good to trade equally if you're up? It's not always good, but it's usually good. I see an open king, so this doesn't work because this, but it's the first thing that I see. It's time to just start bringing the rooks because they're the only ones not playing. I see a king on the other side, so I'm going to line up my rook to the king. It's not a complicated... Is that a pattern you already knew, or you saw that all on the spot? A mix of both. So that pattern to win the queen, I've seen in different positions where you can play bishop takes the knight and then, you know, you have something like this. But no, otherwise it's just basically forcing moves. Titled players, you know, we scan the board very, very, very like this sometimes. We just immediately cut out all the bad stuff. We leave ourselves a sample size of 3 or 4 good moves, and then we have to analyze. Now, with a rook, king, this is a double check. So this cannot be taken because the rook is also checking. And we will pick up the rook here. And this is just all kind of a slope. Keep falling down. You know, you fall behind early, it's difficult to recover. I'm just going to activate my rook. This doesn't look like an activation, but when I move my bishop, I will have a target. Isn't that trap easy to analyze if you haven't seen it? If I gave this position to... Okay, my opponent's 1294. If I gave this position to, like, a sample size of 50, 1300s, less than 5 of them would even conceptualize this as a possibility, I would say. 45 to 49 of them would just say one of these moves. Because you just, they're like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I'm just going to keep developing. You don't think, oh, I can already win something so quickly. And that's the point of doing this, is that it shows you that you can, in fact, do stuff like this. So it's very easy to see it when I do it. Let's put it this way. It's very easy to see it when you're observing, when someone is explaining. It is complete. You guys already know this. It's very different to do this in a live game. It's just, I mean, it's not the same. It's like, again, it's so much simpler when I'm like, bub, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Right? So this is what's going to happen. This, checkmate, knight blocks, and rook cuts off. Let's see if my prediction comes true. So this stops guarding this. Mate. Maybe. I don't know. If my opponent spots it, maybe not. So they decided not to take. Now I can, I'll push my d-pawn forward to try to bait them to going here. Here's another prediction. Here, 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 here. The point is my rook is doing a really good job cutting this king's circulation and isolating it to the back rank. My opponent had a little bit more breathing room. I wouldn't have any of these kind of tactics. I'm gonna go here though. I actually don't think that was a stream snipe. I know I always talk about this when I film these, but that was too quick. You know what I mean? It's usually there's a few seconds pause. Okay, let's go d7. Anyway. Thanks, Mr. Bubbles, for the prime. Thank you to Ali Shelby. If you're subbing and I don't read it out, don't think that you're not appreciated. Anyway. You've been obsessively watching your chess videos, just started playing on chess.com. Everything that feels obvious in observation falls away when you're actually playing. Exactly. Yeah. By the way, the rook couldn't take the bishop because the pawn was promoting there. That's exactly right. I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel with when I watch tutorials on how to play hamster better in Overwatch. Let's just sacrifice the bishop for the 2 pawns, just to show you how to simplify. We've got the 2 rooks versus 1. I'll be watching, like, Yeatle, who's one of the, I think he was world rank #1, or, I don't know, NA rank #1 or something, and, you know, Yeatle does all this crazy stuff, and I go try to do it, and I run into the whole team, and I die. So, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna try to trade this rook and push this pawn. That's what we're gonna do for the rest of this game. Why don't I play Hyperbullet? I do that all the time. I'm not gonna play Hyperbullet on this series. That just wouldn't make any sense. Correct. It also could be a teammates thing. But I also try to do some of the stuff that he does, and... Ball got nerfed? Uh-oh. Really? I'll never feel it. Okay, instructive moment. King wants to come closer, so what do? You watch my rook and pawn endgame video. Cut the king off. That's what that's called. Cutting the king off. Cut off. Yes, very good. And then b7 and bring back my rook, bro. In reality, promoting to a queen is better, but I missed my rook. I want my rook back. I want a monster reborn my rook. It's like I'm like blue eyes white dragon, you know, I'm like Kaiba. Always with his blue eyes white dragon obsession until like the later seasons when he got real cards. Anyway, that was an instructive moment. Symmetrical London, early queenside expansion like this. I guarantee these next two games, if you play the London, or you don't play the London now, you want to play the London, and you play against the London, these two games of this, if this is the only thing that you watch from this episode, will gain you like 100 points. Literally, if you just play like this with the London against the symmetrical London, or against the London the way we just played in the first game, you're going to be winning all your games when London is on the board. Next guy up, Colton 123. Boom. Hopefully no London this time. Please no d4. I want an e4 game. I want to play e4, e5 or something. But let's see. Colton? e4. There it is. Let's go e5. Standard stuff. I'm not going to, I continuously avoid the Stafford Gambit. No disrespect to Eric Rosen. I want to play a little bit more classically. Okay, so Rue Lopez. There's a lot of ways to play against the Rue Lopez. I'm going to play something called the bird variation. It's when your knight immediately goes to d4. It's called the bird's defense. It's a very interesting line, actually. And not a lot of people know about it. But it's a really good way to counter the Rue Lopez. It's going to really throw people off. You could play all this classical stuff. There was a guy in chat a couple days ago who was like, should I play the Berlin? I was like, what's your rating? He's like 1380. I was like, I went full Pablo Escobar meme on him. You know, I was like, look at this. My opponent's thinking on move 4. What do you mean play the Berlin? What do you mean play the Berlin? Like, why? Why? Because the GMs do it. This is the point of this. Okay, this is the point. You get this block in the center, and the way you play this position is you play c6. You force a difficult decision out of this bishop. Okay, opponent decides to go there. You don't even necessarily always want to play. No, the bishop is not trapped. The bishop is not trapped because even if I gave a check, there is c3. But we'll analyze that after. And there's a lot of positions where this goes here. Right? Like in this, and the queen goes over there and kind of stands around and does its thing. And then you play like bishop to c5. And you blunder bishop takes f7 check while you're trying to show in a... Did I actually just blunder that? Wow. I think I only play bishop c5 when the bishop is on a4. This is such a good opening weapon, said Gothamchess, as he blunders a pawn on move 6. I think I was supposed to play d5 in this line? That's why you gotta know your theory. Okay, this does not take away the credibility from the bird. It does not take away the credibility from the bird. It just takes away from the credibility of me as a content creator. However, I constantly get requests to play games where I'm fighting back. Like, I'm losing. So actually, because people just like, dude, you show all this stuff to get a better position, but how do you play from a worse position? And that is true. I'm going to go king f8, because I actually don't want to take and run into this. So this is going to be a game to how to fight back when you know, make a mistake. No, I completely blundered. I'm not trying to hide behind that at all. And you know what the worst part is? I've actually made this mistake before. That is really bad. That is really bad. It's difficult. For those of you that don't know, it's currently January 10th, 2021, and I am going through one of my worst chess slumps ever. I am at my lowest blitz rating in 2.5 years. And this is just an example of it. I'm just playing horribly. I'm making mistakes. It doesn't matter what rating I'm playing. I'm making very uncharacteristic mistakes. So, but the good news is we will bounce back. We will come back stronger. So my opponent takes this. I guess I can just hide my king. I mean, it's very ugly. It's like I castled, but my rook got drunk and didn't wake up in time. So, you know, I can't, like, see, it won't let me do it. So queen comes out to f3. Any threat? Let's actually scan this time instead of just playing a move. Doesn't look like there's any threat, so probably the best thing to do is to finish our development. I think I'll move my queen out a little bit, put my pawn up, my bishop, and then my rook. That's the plan. And then maybe I'll hide my king, like, in this little fortress, and we'll be all right. So, I mean, everybody has slumps. I have my slumps as well, but this is very uncharacteristic. This is a terrifying long slump for me. I think d6, like I said. I mean, knight b3 is a move, but I just moved my bishop, and this is guarded, and that doesn't look really bad. And knight c4 looks nice if the knight was there, but it doesn't actually do anything. So, and then in reality, if I can get an open f file, ooh, is that an indication? Is my opponent trying to? No, but surely this is just not a good idea to castle into this, right? Like, your knight, the chief defender of the king, if it lands there, will be overrun. Like the defenders of the US Capitol. Too soon for that joke? Okay, this move I don't like at all because it doesn't accomplish anything. My opponent was doing a good job, but I don't know why they're not... I don't know why they're not castling. That's a strange move. That allows me like a full turn now to do something. You know what's funny? I want to go here, but my move actually has an idea. I want to hide my king and play rook f8. See, I don't know if I want to commit my rook over to this side because I don't know where they're going. I'm going to give, you know, it's funny. I'm going to say this move doesn't do anything. In reality, my move actually wants to hide my king and move my rook out, even though I copied them. I promise my move has an idea. No, my opponent wanted to stop this, but I was never even threatening to do that. So it's just this is a strange move. It's a lazy move. It's kind of a h3. It's a bit of a lazy move. Because now they're going to have, like, are they going to go g4? No, g4 would be awful. That is not, I mean, the king's still in the middle. What are we doing? What are we doing? Maybe. A lot of you suggesting this long term, but you guys are trying to justify a move. Sometimes we work too hard to justify our opponent's moves, you know? Like, they play a move and you're like, well, you know, they played this move because they have like 17 long-term plan, you know, to make a positional stronghold on this square. Blah, 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 blah. Like, look, they castled kingside. I mean, I don't... So, sometimes a move just doesn't have a point. They just played it to play it. You know what I mean? So, at some point, you can't spend so much time being... Now I will move my rook here because that was always my plan, and now there is actually a target. I'm only down one pawn. It seems really bad, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's bad. I would lose this many times out of many times to, like, a grandmaster, for example, and this is coming, which is the one drawback of playing the bird's defense. But I'm going to put my king on h7, put my rook. Yeah, if this shows up, this is going to make the game significantly harder. So I'll probably have to play g6. I really don't want to let this pawn get to f5. That does not look very good at all. And then I think what we're going to have to do is bring this bishop back. It's going to have to start fighting on this diagonal, but currently the bishop is defending the pawn, so we will need to move this pawn up, slide the bishop back, reinforce, maybe make a connect 4. Shout out to Eric Rosen. And then play d5. Put this rook here, maybe double. Doubling is also an option. But this rook is awful. We gotta get the rook into the game. Am I holding Bitcoin? No, not anymore. I sold it at 34. What I had left of it. My logic was if it goes to 40 or something, then whatever. You know, whatever. Whatever. I'm not crying over that. There will be a price adjustment most likely, and then we'll have to figure out when the next timing is. I'm going to go c5 as planned and then slide the bishop back. Why is the f-pawn dangerous? You've got to think how your opponent can A, take space, and B, make more progress in the position. So that could be done with pieces like knights, bishops, rooks, or with pawns, which are also classified as pieces, but have their own. And then, you know, just think about this. It's like a thorn. White takes a ton of space, gains territory, locks down squares in your position, and activates the rook at the same time. So 100% out of 100%, I don't even know what that means. I just literally made up a phrase. 100% out of 100%. The best move is what I'm showing. Again, see King H1. It's like I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna, you know. And I also, to be fair, I also don't know what I'm doing. I'm just thinking to reactivate my bishop on a diagonal and restructure my pawns. Strengthen my pawns and relocate my bishop. So it's not a position that can be changed too much. You also have to think about it like this. Both sides have pawns, right? And pawns are like the fence of a position. So you have to look where there is a hole, where there is an opening, where you can advance and expand and, you know, something like this. Why no pushing of the c-pawn? It's actually not a bad move, c4. To take and go like this? Kind of interesting. I don't know, it's just a decision. Ooh, this is a little bit more passive, this f3. Can't I just go here immediately now? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay, well, look at that. Our plan has now been justified. We now have 2 bishops. Alright, so... yeah, opponent just needs to play a bit more ambitiously. Now, of course, chat, let's not forget, opponent knows they are playing me. They know they're on stream. They know they're going to be in a YouTube video. There's some psychological effect as well. If my opponent was playing a 13-1400, they would have no respect. But frankly, the lesson here is don't have respect for anybody when you play. E takes d5? I hope that's sarcasm. I hope you were just trying to get my opponent to Botez Gambit here. So... don't respect anyone in general? Chess-wise, yes. Otherwise, no, you should. Well, I mean, not really. Not like neo-Nazis. Like, they're like, there's, you know, there's just people who, objectively speaking, you should not respect. You know what I mean? But, yeah, for the most part, you know, you in chess, no, don't respect anybody. Don't respect them as competitors. As people, you should be nice. But as competitors, no. I mean, look to take people's heads off. Well, I mean, listen, you have one life to live. Why are you going to play, you know, play chess cautiously? You know, you should do your taxes cautiously. You should, you know, be cautious with your diet. You should be cautious with all sorts of stuff. Why be cautious with your chess? Have fun, learn, be creative. I made this trade because now I don't have doubled pawns anymore. You know, I really feel like I should play this the proper way, which would be activating both of my rooks. But now I see that this could be a target. Ooh. I'm starting to think naughty things, very naughty things are going through my head right now. Ooh. But I need reinforcements. So let's finish this plan. Let's make the Connect 4. Now we have no weaknesses. And... although actually Queen D6 was probably just a better move threatening mate. But Queen D6, there would have been F4. Again, and frankly, I am very happy to not see this move. You'll notice that I said this many moves ago. And it hasn't happened. So I'd really rather stay away from moves that force this. Right, so... okay, C3 is not a bad move. That's actually a great move. If I take, I activate their bishop. If I don't take, I activate... so what if I push? Normally, this is just not very good, but I'm not activating any piece. And actually, now I have a passed pawn, is what that is. A passed pawn is a pawn that has no pawn blocking its path to the end. There is a bishop in front of it, but it's still a passed pawn. And if I can protect it, that makes it even stronger. It becomes, like I keep saying, a thorn. It's a protected passed pawn, so it's good for all endgames. I'm not going to play this move right away because the knight can still go to the middle. Right now, these are like space takers, is what they are. G5? A little bit bold. Something like G5. You know, I'm doing this to suppress F4. And you say, well, Levy, the pawn's in front of your king. Why are you doing that? Yeah, but you've got to think about, can they actually attack your king? Can they actually attack your king? That's the thing. How? Notice that my opponent, look at this. This is a fascinating position. My opponent does not have a single forward move with any piece. No, this is actually very interesting. They have no forward move with any of their pieces. Pawns, yes. They cannot move the knight, bishop, queen, or any of the rooks forward safely because every square is occupied. So you got to think about that. They have no forward move. Yes, for example, they can sacrifice and pin me, but they would be losing the knight and the bishop in this process. So they played g4. So this sacrifice does exist, but it's not very good. And now I'm really, well, no, I got to be, listen, I got to give this rook a chance. I got to give this rook a chance. No, but now, guys, queen d6 is not a mate threat. Although there is a threat, and it's rook takes f3, which is very pretty. Deflecting the queen away from the checkmate. Can I give my opponent more time to be nice? I don't actually have that ability. But this was a nice game. We stabilized everything and... Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. This is a mined pawn. It actually cannot be captured for two reasons. Number one, I see this, and this is how you set traps in chess. You don't necessarily need to respond. You go, wait, if they take me, don't I have this? Oh, that's nice. So we go here. The knight has retreated, and now that the knight has retreated, remember a very long time ago I said don't go here because you just activate the knight. Now that the knight cannot be activated, now we go here. You notice that? And we've caged in the knight. The knight used to be able to jump to the middle, but now that it's gone back, we glue it shut. This is protected. And we can move our connect forward each up one row. Just funny. We used to have this, but now we go bup, 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 and we keep expanding and scaling it, right? And I mean, I can push one more, but there's no need. But now we need to break through. We need to break through. I'm going to play one more improving move, I think. Just lining this up. It's not a threat, but it improves our position just ever so slightly. Yeah, and our opponent is on the defense now. But you notice there are 4 light squared pawns, which means that trading off the dark squared bishop would be really nice for me. And I actually think that is exactly what I am about to do. I'm going to trade the bishop, creating a Swiss cheese of dark squares. Like this. And I'm going to use the dark squares to break in. I can take with the pawn. I can also take with the queen. Very tough to tell the difference. This pawn is a killer in the endgame. And look at this. We slide in here. I don't know what's next, but it's going to be great. Maybe we break out with the pawns. Notice that it's kind of, it's like a combination of both sides of the board, this game. We use, oh, that's a great move. Ah, the queen wants to go here, so what do? We shut that down. We shut that down. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Oh, this one is so beautiful. What's the best move here, guys? What's the best move? This pawn used to guard this. There is a hidden pin. Rook takes g4. If queen takes, bishop takes. If pawn takes, this. If no one takes, it's an x-ray. You gotta look. They're not taking this. Not taking this because the knight is guarding. But rook takes g4. Lights out. All this pressure. Putting the opponent locked behind their pawns. And then finally rook takes g4 comes in. And it's a cross pin. And we win the queen. And now we've broken through. All hell breaks loose. And the game is over. So we took the early blunder, we stabilized the game, and the opponent did not play ambitiously enough, is honestly what happened there. And truly, like, they played fine, but they, like, again, the queen doesn't need to be out here. Which, you know why they played this queen move? Is because a move or two ago, when they played this, their mind was set on playing queen h5. So they played the queen out, but... You know, I have this video on my YouTube channel, how to stop early queen attacks. The thing about queen attacks is that you can't play queen versus a full force, right? You just can't do that. The queen needs to have more pieces in front of it. That's why it would have been better. Like, look, if I put this computer into engine, if I put this position into computer, what's the best move here for white? Castle. Knight to d2. Uh-huh. Queen f3. Doesn't hate it. So my opponent actually played, like, decently. But now what's the best move? Okay, now computer is saying bring the queen back is one of the suggested moves. So after h3, it really doesn't like. h6. Castles. And now I'm going to show you the most important moment of the game right here. Do we have the engine on the screen? You do there. Yeah, it's kind of small, but what are the best moves? What's the best move? f4. f4. Oh. It's catching up on the engine eval. See, you'll notice that the top move is a4, but a few moves down, if you follow the line, it says f4. This is the move which is going to give white the advantage in this position. I play rook c1, c5. Is it f4 again? Again, right? Going like this. This is when my opponent played king h1. And look at what happened to the advantage. King h1. It tanks. Tanks by a full point almost. And then a few moves later, black is better despite being down a pawn. Isn't that amazing? Black is better. The engine is now negative, which means that black is better despite black being down a full pawn because of how passively white played this position. Like, if white didn't play f4 and I activated my bishops and that's it. So that's it. I mean, you gave me enough time to stabilize my position and now my pawn deficit doesn't even matter. Because think about it. What is the counteract of being down pawns? Like, if I don't have pawns. If I don't have pawns, I have lines that are open, right? Right? That's how it works. You still have bricks in your castle or your fence, but I have open lines, which is why people like gambits, because they lose pawns, but they open the lines of the position, right? The bishops. I just hit myself in the face. So that's how you have to think about this. When you're out material, the whole point of why f4 is so strong is because you use your pawn mass to take space. That is what you do. And by the way, somebody said c4. And see, my best thing is to protect against the move. Because look, if I allow f5, look at this. This is so ugly. First of all, they get their own connect 4. Right? And now they have this. And now this. And the rook is activated. They have this nasty bind of space, which is really unpleasant. All right, Luke Colton is next. I'm going to play e4 this game. I always mix up the openings a little bit. I don't want to just stick to one opening. That was a good game. That was a good game. KARO KANN. What do I play against the KARO KANN? Man, there are so many options. Oh, I know what I play against the KARO KANN. I played this in the last one. I'm going to make a YouTube video on this soon. Le Fantasy. Le Fantasy, the most secret gangster variation of the KARO KANN that exists. It's called a fantasy because the ideal position that you get is one with 2 central pawns, 2 knights, 2 bishops, and a castled king with an open f-file. That's why it's called the fantasy. My opponent already has made an inaccuracy, I think. I don't think you're supposed to let me go e5, but I gotta think, is that actually accurate? Am I saying an accurate thing? Because last time I spoke very quickly in the opening. But I think that this is a bad move because it immediately allows me to attack the knight. And then it allows me to take more space with my central pawns like this. So this is just not good. It's not losing, but it's not good, is really what it is. Would I ever invest into Tesla? Who's to say I haven't already? Who's to say I haven't already? Now, am I suspicious of Tesla's skyrocketing as a company and valuation? Absolutely. Capitalism is a very weird thing. So I can play bishop e2 in castle. I can also stabilize my center, which is very important. I think I will go bishop to e3, just to keep my pawn well protected, in case I ever want to lose my queen. What do I do for a living outside of streaming? I drive for Uber and I deliver pizzas. So Uber Eats. Knight c3 probably is not a bad move, just developing a knight to the middle. This can't be bad. No, I actually have a very pleasant position, but I'm not winning by any stretch of the imagination. Am I serious? No, I'm absolutely not serious. I stream anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day. I make YouTube videos, I make openings courses. Now here's a better question. What were you doing before you were doing this? I was teaching chess, and I was getting paid to teach chess in New York City. That's what I was doing. I want to go bishop to e2, but here's my problem with this move. If my opponent takes, and I take, I lose my pawn. It's kind of unpleasant. And I would have to take with my pawn, which I really don't want to do. Do I like pineapple on pizza? I don't care, personally. And it's actually not something that I would kill anybody over. But if I play here and then I castle, I should be fine. I personally don't think that you should cook your steak well done or put ketchup on your steak. That's disgusting. Like, that is objectively wrong. Pineapple on pizza is just a preference. Am I a millionaire or a billionaire? Yeah, I'm a billionaire. Yeah. Thank you. Good question. Definitely a billionaire. That's why I work, 12 to 14 hours every day. Guys, the secret to making more money after you have $1 million is to work less. You guys know that's how it works. Work put in correlating to money made is not the same for someone who's living borderline in poverty or a billionaire, right? Many people who are living borderline in poverty work many more hours than billionaires. So that's just how the world works. Now, we've castled. I want to go h3. I also can slide out of this pin, which is another option, and try to put my queen. It's another benefit of, oops. It's another benefit of having this. Let's go queen e1, queen g3. So queen e1, queen g3. Ooh, interesting move. f5. So again, I can take en peasant, opening up my bishop. I don't actually say en passant like that. And also I get yelled at for pronouncing the T in en passant. Okay, en passant. Un pisson. Un pisson. For my French fans. Un pisson. Poisson? Poisson. Pisson? Pesson. Okay, I'm gonna get canceled. Let me not get canceled. I want to take en passant because I want my bishop to be open, I think. So I will take like this. I don't know if it's the best move because this trade comes with pluses and minuses. My opponent will take and now have activity. They stare at this, they stare at this. That move looks really good. That just looks good. You know those moves that just look good? How did I get myself into investing? I discovered there was a way to put your money into something and then it becomes more money. Or less money. But, if you have a comfortable amount, you got to think about investing like this. If there's a comfortable amount of money you have in life that you could just set on fire and it would just disappear and it wouldn't hurt you, that's what you invest. That's just, at the same time, on a very serious note, I don't know about Europe, I don't know about Asia, I don't know about Africa, I don't know about Antarctica. In the United States, unless you go to a very good school which invests in multiple elements of their education, financial literacy, investing, credit card understanding, bank understanding is garbage in the United States. Where I grew up New York, New Jersey, my family taught all of that to me. I don't know if that's just what's expected. I think financial literacy absolutely should be in the curriculum, but it's not. It's not. In Europe, it's the same? Oh, okay. Okay, I can't speak for education in other countries. So, anyway, bishop to d6. I see a fork, but then they take. And then if I take, by the way, this opens up. Oh, man. What if I take? I don't like that the knight gets here. I really don't like that. Can I play rook takes f6? Look at this. This is guarding this, right? So why can't I take this? If they take with the queen, I take you. Isn't that just two pieces? Isn't that just good? And if they take this, I take with check. Right? That looks good. Okay. That looks good. Resources on learning this stuff? I would say this. If your family, like if you're from the United States or something, I can only speak for US. If like you're, a son or daughter of immigrants and they don't speak English very well and they can't teach it to you, you got to go to the people who can help you. You got to find trusted sources. If it's a friend with, English speaking family that can walk you through the whole financial process, learn from them. Ask a guidance counselor in school. You know what I mean? So Reddit, honestly. Reddit. Good, the right internet forums. So Coursera, yeah. But the thing is, there's a lot of ways. You know, you gotta realize you gotta second guess everything. I'm from New York City, right? So I'm from New York City, so we question everything. We take nothing. Like if someone says something, we're always like, are they lying to me? We're not naive. It's just very different. I mean, it's for better or for worse. We don't believe anything anybody says unless we like triple check it. For better or for worse. If G7 takes F6, the same thing. I get the bishop. So this was a removing the guard tactic. I realized that this has guarded by this. And this is a common tactical pattern. You sacrifice the rook, and you get the 2 pieces. And now I have 2 pieces for the rook, so I'm slightly better. Slightly better. Not saying I'm... Oh, but wait a second. Let's not forget about this. What used to be the problem? The problem used to be that there was bishop takes knight, but now I'm just forking. Oh, that's very bad. That's very unfortunate, actually. Yes, and I'm not talking about Wall Street bets, the meme utopia of investing, which... Man, my bishop is still hanging? This? This? Yes, but think about take my bishop, take knight. Follow the... Right, follow this, right? Just follow the path there. So this I can just... I mean, I can take this with the king, or actually just bring the horse back, just to keep my king protected. So now I have 3 pieces. Now we're definitely winning. Who's the best US GM for classical? Fabiano Caruana. It's not really close. I mean, he's very clear world number 2. Blitz and Rapid. I still think Hikaru. But yeah, I mean, it would be cool if we had a GM who could rival Magnus in all 3 formats. Here's the question. Do I rather trade the knight for the knight? I don't like this queen arriving on that square. I really don't like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my knight. I also think I have to preserve my bishop pressuring the king. I think this is the bishop I need to keep. Because this bishop threatens nothing. So I'm happy with this. Because my queen comes, it stabilizes the center. I can bring my rook. If I trade the rooks, I trade the queen. Slowly but surely, if I make it down into an endgame with less pieces, my 2 knights and bishop will be superior. Right now, with my opponent having queen... correct, but this is a good example. By the way, someone's asking about simplification. So I was going to say, my opponent having, you know, queen and 2 rooks means that my opponent wants to attack me. They have heavy firepower, but the more I nerf it, the better. Queen e4 is an idea, yeah, queen e4 with the bishop, but they just go g6, so it's not like we're going to mate anybody here, but... Do I think Magnus Carlsen is a better problem solver in Puzzle Rush? I don't know, because he doesn't do it. Because he's signed to a different chess website. But I don't know. Do I think Magnus Carlsen is better at something I've never seen him do? I don't know. I don't think so, actually. I think puzzle solving is a very different skill, actually. Very different. And it's fascinating how the brain works. Like, Ray Robson is an exceptional puzzle solver. But, yeah, definitely knight d6 or knight g5 is the next move. Actually, isn't this just very clearly better than moving the knight to d6? The knight on d6 looks beautiful. That's an outpost square. We're 58 minutes into this, YouTube style. But if you're not following Gothamchess on Instagram, you really should. Because, look at this. If you follow Gothamchess on Instagram, 2/3 of my pictures are about my life. But look at this. 1/3 of my pictures is literally just instructional chess content down the middle there. Look at that. Carousel style posts. What is an outpost? And you just swipe through, boom, you learn, and it's good. I want to, you know, I want to share my life, but I also want to share instructive chess stuff. So go follow. You know, the Instagram actually is crazy. I didn't realize, like, YouTube has a robust discovery algorithm, but oh my God, Instagram is nuts. Some of my posts get 40% engagement with people who don't follow me. That's wild, man. That is like an astounding statistic. On YouTube right now, it's like 58%, 59%, but not subscribed, so something like that. But yeah, Instagram is wild, and you know, gentlemen, you and I both know that the explore page can be a little bit busty sometimes. Let's play bishop takes h7. Knight takes is also good, and then I think I need to bring in the queen at some point. I mean, listen. It knows what we like, but it really needs to chill out sometimes. It's really, like, it's really bad. I mean, I can't go on there without getting, you know, hit in the face with... Like, it's not the worst thing to look at. It's just, like, too much, you know? Like, there's a limit. It's like, I mean, I'll tell you right now, my Instagram Explore page is like basketball, MMA, and something I can't say on YouTube for fear of being demonetized. Also, it's always Bella Poarch. Is that just me? It's always a Bella Poarch clip, along with the other stuff. There's always Bella Poarch. Always. Always a clip, and it's never her account. It's always one of those fake fan accounts. She's a viral TikTok star. Yeah, like yeah, not Porch, there's an A in there, P-O-A-R-C-H. Anyway, that's not an A. Stay focused on YouTube. We're trying to, listen. It's hard, right? These things are like an hour and a half. Mine drifts a little bit. Let's bring the bishop back. The idea is queen to h3 check. That's what I want to do right now with the open king. So. Thanks, it's Feza. After the game, can you look at sacking to displace queen and go queen h4, move 15? That's a very specific thing that you're asking for. Here and taking here is good. Taking this loses a queen. That's how you throw the game. But this move should win. Just queen h3, rook to h6. And then I take. And if king goes to here, I have mate. Why don't I take the free rook? I prefer checkmate. I had fork at 96. Guys, I know. We have a lot of good options. Yes. I know. I'm just going for mate. We could have taken the rook. We had a lot of ways to win this game. Notice, by the way, that even in this position, there's queen f2. Like, it's never... And there's queen d4. So you have, I did scan these moves. And king goes to h1 and I'm safe. But it's, you know, you have to mentally scan how they can still attack your king, even now. Queen to g5, the game would end in a very nice way with double check. And then I would win the queen. Who's my favorite artist? Like, music? The Weeknd. Well, old Weeknd. Starboy was one of the greatest albums ever. Let's give a double check and then we will mate with the bishop. Very pretty checkmate. Very pretty. Also, we could have won with smothering like this. Starboy to me is the greatest solo album of like the last like 10 years or something. Every single song on there was good. I've never heard an album like it. Every song he made on there was good. Literally every song. You know, every album you like pick out like 6 or 7, but every song on that album was fire. I used to run to it. Like, I used to run and just listen to the whole album nonstop. Nah, I mean, they were good. You know, some of his old stuff was good, but anyway, fantasy variation, baby. Incorporate this. You will beat the KARO KANN forever. If you're watching way later in the future on YouTube, I have a video on this on my YouTube channel, but the fantasy variation will win you so many games. It's so good. Oh my god, it's just so good. God. Oh my goodness, just like this, get the knights, all the pieces out. My opponent says fantasy variation haunts my dreams. For a good reason, sir. Okay, let's play Daniel Fay. E4. So last time I played E5. Let's play a Sicilian. Play Sicilian defense. Knight f3. I'm gonna play the e6 Sicilian. So if my opponent plays d4, this is the open Sicilian. Okay, knight takes d4. So now I can go for Taimanov. I can play the KANN. I'm gonna play knight to f6, which is just normal. Knight to c3, and this is called the 2 knights Sicilian. Or 4 knights. I mean, it's called 2 knights or 4 knights. But for black, it's the 2 knights. Now b takes c6. Does my opponent know what they're doing? I'm going to be really shook if they know what they're doing. Because this is... You know, the point is that I take back like this and now I play d5. Plus, the good thing... Okay, so they don't quite know, which is good, but let's go d5. That's the point. You got this big center. This is not good at all. So now I go cd5, and notice I have 2 central pawns. They have none. They have no central pawns. That's nice. I'm going to just finish my development with bishop e7 and castles. And remember, a couple games ago, I said when you clear out your pawns, what do you have? Open lines, right? So we have open lines here. Where did they have open lines? Here. So, okay, that is... actually, bishop e2, you know what? I was going to say this is a little bit strange. This is not how Sicilians are played normally. But I don't hate it, actually, because this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a good game. That's why I like to play 1500s, especially in Rapid. Can I expand in the center with my 2 pawns? Yes. When you're expanding, you need to make sure you're supported. So now I can plant my bishop here, maybe go e4, kick this bishop out. Also would be nice to kind of counteract the bishop on the diagonal in the long term, but... and notice that d4 is not what I played, because d4, the knight jumps, it hits my pawn. Also, knight e4 is unpleasant. If we trade, my rook is under attack. This just allows me to continue going forward, no? Which was my idea, just... Now I've expanded in the center. Okay, that makes sense. This is aggressive. This stabilizes the center. Where do I move my bishop? Very tough question. Also, you've got to keep an eye on reroute. So this is a nice square, and it could go here and blockade my pawns, is what that's called. A blockade of my pawns. Bishop f5 enables the move d4 because it defends this. However, d4 could just be walking into death. I might die. I might die. I don't want to die. What about... Let's just develop a bishop for now and stabilize the center. Bishop to b4 is interesting, but honestly, I want to just develop a piece that hasn't moved yet. I don't know about bishop b4. It pins, but then they go a3. So just like, before you just go wandering in like this, you need to be like, what if they just attack me and attack me again? And I don't want to trade. Like, the last trade that I want is this bishop. Oh, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Hopefully you make idea by yourself. This is the first thing that I'm thinking here. But you can also go here. I'm thinking this because I like this, and I like this, and I want to connect the rooks. Plus, I'm not creating any weaknesses with this move. And it's a 10-minute game, right? So, if your move is not immediately blundering something, it's really difficult to tell the difference between sorry, rook c8, between this. You don't need to spend 5 minutes here figuring this out. That's a good example of time management. It's just a good move. It's a flexible move. It doesn't blunder anything. It monitors the king side, monitors the queen side. You can put your rooks behind. Looks good. It looks good. Okay, opponent goes g3. Now here are my ideas. I want to go rook c8, attacking this pawn. I want to go rook d8, centralizing. I want to maybe go bishop c5. I'm not looking at bishop b4, which you guys keep suggesting, because just c3. I don't see a reason to play bishop to b4. It's just another idea is routing the knight this way and then popping it in there. Another idea is bishop g4. How on earth do you figure all this out? Let's go rook c8. This is a very easy move. It doesn't require a lot of analysis. It's just quite literally threatening to take a pawn. Right? It's really hard to analyze which of these moves is significantly stronger than the other. So you cannot play think for 7 minutes and then, you know, like, I really, really, really want to land my knight on f3. The question is, what's my opponent going to do? Are they just going to let me land my knight on f3? You guys are also suggesting this and go back and mess up their fianchetto. No, it's a little bit too dank. Let's go knight to g4. Now, do we continue with our plan? I like it. Knight e3. Chat members, that is just a throwaway of a horsey. Ah, stopping me from going knight to f3. But chat members, if the knight is stopping us from going to f3, what do we do to the knight? Why, we attack it, of course. Now there is a huge threat. That threat will win us the game. Yes, we murder it. Exactly. That's a great move. Stopping me from going here again. Now I have to constantly see if this is a threat. This is attacking through this. Queen b6 adds some pressure to the knight. It's a good game. Like this game a lot. f5 hangs a bishop. Moving the bishop out of the way of the knight is a possibility. But I want to keep trying to make progress. What about queen here? That looks good. Because the only way to guard this is to bring the king, and I somehow don't believe... Oh, you guys were suggesting bishop takes, sacrificing, and then taking? I don't know about that, because afterward, you don't only lose a bishop, you also have a rook on the same diagonal. So, right. So now I can actually... So this looks like it's hanging, but there is this. But I think we just take with the queen and shut up. This was not a good trade, I don't think. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think this was a good trade. Now that I trade off my light scored bishop, I can create a crown. What? Why are you trading everything? You were doing so well. This is a sign of respect from my opponent, I'm sensing. Don't just trade pieces for the sake of trading pieces. Oh, but now it all falls apart, chat. In this position, we can capture 3 things. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're not going to take this. We could take this. Can't take this. It's pinned. And it all falls apart. Yeah. Did I say 1 correctly? It's not on. I didn't say the N, did I? I said like on. On du toi. On du toi. On. It's like a bouncing ball. On. On du toi. Got it. I'm learning. Wait, if I push. Oh, if I push, I hang my queen. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, that would have been really bad. Oh, it's the new PogChamp emote. That's really funny. Because Twitch is doing this rotating PogChamp thing now. I guess I take... I don't know. Oh, of course I do. Of course I know. Just activate the rook. Rook up, rook over, while my opponent cannot take. Here, if king moves, this. I like it. See, this is why we didn't have chat today on the screen, because y'all are eating each other alive with this new PogChamp emote. And YouTube's like, what's PogChamp? Unless you watch on both, in which case you're like, damn, I'm missing out on the PogChamp farming. Someone wrote, how dare you stand where he stood? But you looked him in the eye! Or killed him? Killed him. That's what Harry says. He said killed him. He trusted you! What if I don't want a trade of queens? So check this out. Here. Pawn takes, attacking rook. But I have a queen. Danger levels. My rook is hanging, but mate is threatened. If f4, un poisson. Un poisson. Again, un poisson. Oh my god, they could have taken my rook. He could have taken my rook. Because there's a... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what would have happened. I mean, I'm losing, but it's still a game. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot the king can just go. I just assumed that he would just take. It didn't even occur to me that the rook could be taken. And then I got there and I was like, okay, wow. Can we stop throwing, please? That was terrible. Bishop c5, and we should be in good shape. Trathia and Snacks, thank you both for donations. Question is, how do I play against you in one of these? Have to be a subscriber on Twitch, and I try to do like 2 or 3 recordings a week, maybe 2 a week, and then I'll put them up on YouTube kind of as we go. But okay, one second, I need to focus. My rook is hanging. I want to bring my queen back to give a check, but then queen e4. I have rook f6. I have rook e8. I don't have a lot of time. I actually have to start moving significantly faster. So here's what I'm going to do. I will give a check, because that just seems natural. But in doing that, I am destabilizing f7. So I need to be very careful. I'm also going to go here, because I have to move my rook out of the way. My opponent says, I call this the turtle. No. He says, the fox has been flushed from its den. Why are you speaking like an NPC from a village game? The fox has been flushed from its den. Shut up, bro. Just kidding, that's mean. That's not very nice. The New Yorker is coming at me. I got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm under stress. Talking about fox. Guys, don't talk to your opponents in the middle of a game. Bishop to e3? Queen sack? Really? I'm gonna go bishop b4. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Now my bishop's not in danger anymore. Ooh, now we're calling the shots. Now we be calling the shots. Thank you to Zenu for subscribing for 6 months in advance. Wow. Normally the only thing that you have to do in advance is like a mortgage or a car, and I appreciate your belief in me as a creator. Let's go rook f6 now. I don't want to trade. The king is in the middle. I want as many pieces on the board as I can possibly get to maximize the pressure here. I'm obviously not worried about this. In fact, as my queen pressures this bishop, how can it still maintain defense? Because let me tell you something. If the queen goes here, and I can bring my queen back to create threats, aren't I just winning? Don't I have just too many threats, period? Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I take, rook takes, and then I bring the queen back. Aren't I just winning? Like, rook takes. Oh, my bishop is hanging. Not now, but I'm just saying if I bring my queen back. If here, take, check, or check, and then what is going on in this game? Okay, no checks from my opponent. That's the good thing. This is such a crazy... Well, it's because I played the Sicilian. Play the Sicilian if you enjoy games like this. It's a bitter fight to the death. You told somebody have a good day at the start of a game and he aborted instantly? I mean, yeah, I would too. We don't, what is this niceness? I think people can be nice to each other still? Thanks, Reinbach, for the 15 months. White has a mate in 4. If you could find a mate in 4 here for white, I'll give you $10 million. Forced. Not black just throws. Black throws probably even faster. Okay, wait. Here, here, here. No, I want this one. I want the king in the open. I don't want the king hiding. Be a man. Come on, king c3. What are you thinking about? Well, you got 2 moves. What's the, of course you play king c3, don't even think about it. King c3. Any tips on how to improve memory? No, that's a better question for Google, honestly. I'm not even trying to be, like, sarcastic. I don't know. Honestly. I would tell you, but I'd have to kill you. Thanks, Squalor Goblin. Appreciate it very much. Long time no see. I can change my plan now. Instead of taking this, I can go check, only move, check, only move, check, and I win the queen. I don't have to take the bishop anymore. Although, actually taking this... Wait, if I take this, there's still rook e4. I can't go rook e4 now. No, but let's just go here. And then let's go rook c8, and we're winning. Wow. What a game. What a weird game. Wow. Also, queen b6, king a4, queen a6, queen a5. No. But this is the, wow, that's a nice idea. Wait, did I also have, like, some queen e8 mate? Can I, like... I don't know. Let's just go here. Crazy thing is, like, this is not so easy. It's not so easy. Still. Oh my god. Oh my god, what am I doing? Oh my god, this has been a really weird... Okay, well now I can go here, but it's trying to mate me. This is so not nice. Oh no! See, now there's a mate, which is not nice. I can't believe I missed queen d2. I keep telling you guys, look, it's because of time. But it's a very bad game of time management for me. I'm not managing my time well. No, guys, queen d2 here is no good because of back rank mate. But if I create a Luft, if I create a... I had queen d2 again, but there was rook c3. Oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? Wait a minute, I could have went here, here, and then a5. What am I doing? I could have gone here, here, a5, deflecting the king from the rook, and then the king goes here, and then I take the bishop because the rook is blocked. Unbelievable. I mean, this is like a monumental level throw of sorts. Okay, let's take d7. No, I mean, I deserve to lose this game. I'm playing like a... Let me take with check. Hold on a second. Let me take with check. What is going on? Check, and I'm winning the pawn. Oh my goodness. And now, oh, and now everything falls. Oh my god. Oh my good. Oh gosh. I never want to look at this game again. Let me just finish this game off. Let me just, I'm gonna, the last cherry on top here is I find a way to stalemate. Oh my goodness, I don't deserve this game. I don't even want to. It was a good game though. It was a good game. Very competitive. Played the 4 knights. My opponent should go study the line here. That's how you, if you're gonna play the open Sicilian, with CD4, knight d4, you've got to have your lines down. And, yeah, so the fox got kicked out of the den and also flushed down the toilet. It was a good game, honestly. If you just follow the analysis of that game, start to finish, you know, navigating the middle game, expanding with the pawns, and then just decision-making, trying to manage your time better as horribly as I did that. My opponent never had a... No, my opponent never had a mate because he was in check. He was always in check that whole time, so... Super Cow. Let's play d4. The fox has retaken the den. Yes, exactly. Okay, d4 knight f6. Now I'm going to play Trompowsky. I never play this, but d4 knight f6, bishop g5 is called the Trompowsky. It targets the knight on f6 immediately. D5, and now the point is that you take. and you damage the pawn structure. G takes f6. Interesting. So what you do here is you play e3, and you're going to try to play c4. I'm going to try to regroup on the dark squares in the center. e5. Wow. Am I playing a real person? Wow. When I say I never played this, I meant in the climb. I've never played this in the climb. Can I play c4 and shred it open? So here's the thing. These pawns, notice by the way, I'm not just taking the first thing that I see because I don't want to undouble my opponent's structure. I would much rather these pawns go this way so that this and this is doubled forever, doubled and isolated so that it looks terrible. My opponent is 1660 in rapid. But doesn't play a lot of rapid. So this person could very well be a lot stronger than than their rating reflects. So we'll need to just assume we're playing like a grandmaster. Okay. What are we thinking about here? My opponent says, I play on LOPEZ and I'm 2100. I don't play on chess.com much, sorry. Okay, 2100 LOPEZ is like 900 chess.com, so I guess 1600 is inflated. That's a joke. Okay. No, there's no queen a4 check. First of all, chat, you're very selfish. Constantly looking at your own ideas when you yourself are in check. Stop it. Pay attention to what they're threatening to. Let's go a3. Let's go here. Guys, it's not, there's no, just knight c6. Just knight c6, chat. Just knight c6. Queen a4, knight c6. There is no... There's no fork, I promise. Okay, that was a very long... I asked my opponent what their account on LOPEZ is. They haven't told me yet. Ah, now they did. Let's go verify this. Rapid 1900? Yeah. Well, they said 2100. 2100 was a little bit of a stretch. Mr. 1990. Ah, classical. Okay. Conversation is over. It's time to play chess. So the Trompowsky with g takes f6 and black trying to attack the center like this. It's all about how the pawns are transformed and how the pieces are traded. And we notice that we have messed up our structure a tiny bit, but we still have a lot of pawns very solidly in the center. My opponent, meanwhile, has got a very bad pawn structure, a lot of weaknesses, but counterbalancing that with, like we've been saying, open lines. Speaking of open lines, the thing is, this move prevents me from moving my bishop out. At the same time, I could have gone g3, and I might do that. Because this is destabilized, which it's a word I love to use. But this can't really be, like, exploited, because they can't put any more pressure. And if I just get this in castle... Right, so, okay, I mean, don't take, because the knight comes in. So just go bishop g2, stable, solid. You'll notice, chat members, dearest members of the chat, I have traded off my dark squared bishop. And you will notice, if you look, that every single pawn that I have is on a dark square to counterbalance the fact that my dark squared bishop is absent from the game. Knight to h4 attacking the f5 pawn isn't bad. My only concern is that if queen f6 defending, where the hell is my knight going for the rest of the game? So it's a very short-sighted move, knight h4. I'm not saying you're a short-sighted person when I say that. I'm just simply saying the knight going to h4 might not have such an effect. It just might not. Well, there goes the queen anyway. Now I want to expand maybe like this, because my knight is protecting this pawn. So I'm expanding a little bit. It's the first pawn, very brave pawn. So first pawn that's not on a dark square. Thank you for the $5 donation. 41 Saba says your content helped me a lot. My content helped me a lot too. Not really, because I'm losing 200 rating points, but 1997 Nissan Sentra says, I'm 6'3", don't you dare call me short-sighted. Aren't you a car? How can you be a 6'3" car? Just saying, I was actually walking down the street and I was walking by all these cars. I was like, cars are short, man. I'm 5'9", all right? I need an advantage over anybody I can find an advantage over. So, you know. I was looking at these cars like, damn, they're kind of short. All right, any threats? Maybe pawn attack in the future? I gotta go do some damage over here somehow. I think my opponent wants to go knight to f6. Somehow. All right, what about pawn in the center? A pawn break in the center. How do we feel about that? We like that? I don't know, because I think this is gonna happen no matter what I do. I like it, because I think when this trade occurs, I activate a rook, which is very good for me. Maybe I should have played a few moves to anticipate the king going in this direction. You know, I should have been like, oh, the king's in the castle queenside, yeah, so of course I'm gonna... But now, this is still good for me, I think, this trade. I still like it. I have good pressure. I mean, queen a4 looks nice, but then just king to b8. Again, I think if you ever want to attack a king that's castled, you gotta let the small dudes go first. I mean, it's like a, you know, metaphor for life. Why did they always send the poor? In the words of System of a Down. Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? System of a Down was right? Is right? Man, I like got a binge listening session of System of a Down recently. I could have played a6, but bishop c6. I'd rather chip away. c5. We just keep going. Keep chugging along here, shredding open the position. Send 70-year-old presidents to war. It was a joke. Guy who got very offended by my comment. Why do we fight war anyway? That's a topic for a different day. Bishop to d5, yeah? Okay. I'm gonna keep shredding. Okay, chat. Chat's having a good conversation about war. Queen c2, rook c1, checkmate. Is it gonna happen? I think we did a pretty good job here, throwing all of our pawns forward. Opponent is 2 moves away from having a very strong attack of their own. Rook c1. This is the plan here, attacking. Yeah, pressure the juicer, exactly. In the words of philosopher Hikaru Nakamura. Queen b2, oh man, what a weird, I mean, it feels like I'm so close, but I need like more juice. I need more juice. Somehow. Uh-oh. I'm in danger. I want to take. Let's think about this. Take. D5. No. I don't think I'm in danger. Actually, I think my opponent is in danger, if anybody's in danger. So D5 first. See, I'm winning a tempo. So I'm opening up, I'm sacrificing. This bishop's got to get activated. Maybe here. Maybe queen e5. Dude, make a move. Yeah, let's activate the bishop. This was honestly a sacrifice just to open my queen's line of sight. And then maybe rook c1, queen e5. It feels like despite me being a pawn down, I have very good sustained pressure on the right targets. If the knight moves, I have queen to b8. Yeah, so the threat is not a check, which gives me a full turn to come up with a defensive response here. Rook f1 looks really good. Rook f1 looks really good. Queen e5 looks good. So this still has sights, and this is the current threat. So for example, queen e6 here is a good move for black. Queen e6 will probably... Well, the good thing about queen e6 is that I have queen f4. I will play knight f1 at a certain moment, yes. Like, if I have to play this move, I will. If I have to play this move, I will. Another good idea for me is that this move doesn't... Again, it's not a check. Queen d6? It loses because I just take, and I can take this. So take. So very easy. Take, and I take the horse. So the pressure paid off, and now we're winning. But there is this, and if I take, there is this, hitting on du toit. On du toit? On du toit. Gotham, if you played queen e6, you could have pinned with the bishop and a queen. Correct, that's why I did the whole thing, because I... It's still not easy. It's still not easy. Wait, you pronounce the R? In 3 in French? It's trois? Wait, how do you say it? How would it be pronounced? It's trois? Wait, it's on du trois? Tra? Oh, it's like the... Alright, guys, I'm sorry. Stop it. Y'all not catching this fool. I will have you know I got a PhD in French. Getting backseated by like a 14-year-old kid who only speaks American. Enough. Gonna bring my king. Take e4 pawn? No, I'm pinned. I can't take e4 yet. But what I can do is activate my king. And the king has made it all the way, baby. King's gone all the way. All the way to the middle. You notice that? I activated my king. I'm gonna go rook h6. Toi. Beautiful. Toi. Sounds like a very aggressive spit. Take the bishop. Okay, I will play rook to h5. What do you say, knight? Cheval? Hey, I gotta not lose my pawn. I need this cavalier. Cavalier. Cheval is a French guy telling you to shovel snow. I want you to shovel the snow. Oh, cheval is horse. Oh, I was right. I want you to shovel the driveway because there is a lot of snow on it. Okay, I'm going to stop before I get cancelled. Let us attack the rook. Push the pawn, bring the king. Everybody gets a turn. Check, bring the king. Fork! That took a long time, but we won, and it was worth it. Took a long time. Good game, Super Cow. You were quite super. That was an intense game, and you know what the craziest thing is? We have one more. It's gonna be the longest How to Win at Chess episode ever. Here we go. Never mind, Red Panda 1705 has skipped out on today's session. So that entire sign that I put up was just for nothing. Red Panda is not here. We end with Super Cow. Hope you enjoyed. If you've made it this far in the episode, if you made it this far in the stream, you're still here. And I love you for being here. But if you made it this far in the YouTube video, you're not yet subscribed, go do that. Got a lot of other playlists for you to enjoy. So far, this is episode 5, but hopefully, we're like 10 months in the future, we have a lot more. Take care, be nice, be kind, keep winning at chess.